I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Here's a 2-1. And that's driven deep to left center field. Gardner is going back. Looking up. See you later. See you later. Astros headed back to the World Series. Jose Altuve, a walk-off 2-run homer. And the Astros beat the Yankees 6-4. Win the ALCS 4-2.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. Are you kidding me? Do you believe it?
Did my eyes deceive me? I think I actually saw Kyrie Irving play point guard. I mean, literal point guard in the game. Well, I'll address that and amongst other things. Welcome to another exciting edition, an abbreviated edition this morning. Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Well, I'm not doing this solo today because I have my partner, Wise El Jefe, to join me. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, brother?
Doing good. So on the show, I'm later going to touch on some Cam Newton conversation. I'm going to big up Alec Bohm. And it's Wednesday, so we have to delve into BRONSEXUAL Confessions. We're going to do all of that, but we're going to begin with the play-in game to start off the play-in round, which is the Nets and the Cavaliers. Well, we both said that the Nets was going to.
We said the Nets will win.
Yeah, we said the Nets would win, and to me, the Nets did what they were supposed to do. They held serve and they proved that they were the more experienced and better team.
Yes.
And didn't surprise me. 108-105. The Cavs did show some fight in the loss, but what I am still flabbergasted by was I saw Kyrie Irving actually involve his teammates. 34 points, though. I'll give him that. But on 12 of 15 shooting, which I have to say that's great. 3 of 6 from 3, so he was efficient. And he was lethal with the shots, but 12 dimes. I like that. That, if he plays like that, I can see the Nets winning it all. I don't think they will, but I believe he would have to play like this in order for them to win it all. Now, Durant. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. Along with that, Durant added 25 points and 11 assists himself. So that this now makes the Nets the official 7th seed in the East, and they will go on to play the Celtics. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, sir. What are your thoughts from last night?
Oh man, it was a heck of a game. I was listening to it. Actually, I didn't watch it, but from when I was listening to it, man, they were Nets. And I told you this before, man. Like Philly gave up a lot because the Nets didn't give up any of their bench.
No,
I like Claxton. I love some of the other guys. They got Brown as the dog. They got some players on that team. It's not just Kyrie and Kevin, and so to see them involve these younger cats in the game, and they come through, it was crazy, man. I told you this yesterday. I'm a New York fan, so I'm rooting for Brooklyn. They win, I won't really be too happy, but hey, it's still our city, so
I totally understand. The aforementioned Brown chipped in with 18, the aforementioned Drummond chipped in with 16, and off the bench, Claxton gave him 13. So yeah, to your point, it looks like the deepening of the team was served by that trade. And it's unfortunate that for Simmons, I will mention him momentarily, but he has a set foot on the court, but like you said, the Nets have benefited from the trade because of the pieces they got at or along with him.
Yes, they did, and that's where Philly messed up. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. Like you said, if Kyrie plays the way he played last night, you can see Brooklyn going all the way.
Yeah, they can. They can. It's just that I need to see him play like that. That is what a point guard is supposed to do. I'm not talking about the points, although that's a bonus. If he involves his teammates, that is what makes that team dangerous.
Yes.
Now on the losing end, Garland balled out with 34. It was unfortunate that he didn't receive much help. Mobley chipped in with 19, but it was just tough sledding for the Cavs almost all the way through. They basically were trying to fight uphill ever since the first quarter. And if you give up 40 points in the first quarter, you pretty much have a long road to hoe the rest of the game. Tough sledding for the Cavaliers, but there is a bright side to this. They aren't eliminated yet, but they get to host whomever comes out of the game between the Hornets and the Hawks. So they still have one more shot, and it's in Cleveland. So they do have that as an advantage for them. Now, switching things from the 7-8 in the East to the 7-8 in the West. Now, what did you think about the Clippers Timberwolves game from last night?
It was a good game, but I felt, I said it yesterday, I felt Minnesota was going to win because they had their team. Like Paul George did play yesterday, but you're missing Kawhi.
Right.
Patrick Beverley showed you why the Clippers miss him.
Oh my gosh.
Because even if he doesn't score, whatever, he comes and he's a nuisance. This is the kind of player you love him as a teammate.
Yes. And
but when you play against him,
you don't
you
like
want to
him.
punch him in the face.
You don't like him. Like I describe him as a pest, but I do it in love, because if I were to see Mr. Beverly, I would say you a doggone pest. But I understand it because teams need a guy like you.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Man, he definitely serves the Timberwolves so well. Sick. Hello, my man. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sick. How you doing, brother?
Oh man, it's so good to see you again, Sick. And if you want to be just like my man Sick Diggy, all you have to do is go on youtube.com. We are live, and type Snowman in the Morning 50. That's Snowman in the Morning 50. That's Snowman in the Morning 50. And you can be like Sick and comment and give us your takes on all the things that we deliver. I have to say this about the Clippers. I did not think they was going to have the fight that they did have, but of course it did help that George did play, and he did have a game high 34 points. But what I did see was what I thought I was going to see, that it was going to be hard for someone else to put the points up with them, or have like 4 or 5 guys scoring double digits. And when you have that, along with Patrick Beverley wearing out the backcourt like a cheap suit, it was going to be difficult for them. Now, I did say that, and we both said that Karl Anthony Towns, they had no answer for him. It seems like the rim did, because he just simply couldn't get off.
And that's what's crazy. And that's what's crazy. He didn't even have a great game.
No.
But two of the key components that we did mention,
right?
Anthony Edwards,
a beast with 30,
and D'Angelo Russell. And
yes,
we said if D'Angelo Russell came to play, he was going to be a difference maker for them against the Clippers.
And he was.
And
29 points and 6 rebounds.
Yes,
he definitely was.
He was.
If he can play like this in the next round, because now they advance and they're now number 17 in the West. If they can play like this against the Grizzlies, if he can play this against the Grizzlies,
and Cat shows up.
Yeah, and Cat shows up too.
It might be a good series. It might go 7.
That might be one of those candidates where that series goes 7. Yes, I agree with you. And look, Anthony Edwards, people seem to not want to talk about this cat. 30 points. He says, look, you can't forget me. 30 points, 5-11 from 3, but he led his team with 30. And if he can be that number 2 scorer along with Cat, and D'Angelo can be how he was last night, they have the potential to be a sleeper, because it's like what you said. Patrick Beverley is that X factor that the Clippers miss, but he definitely is not the X factor that the Timberwolves do, because they have him and he is a spark plug. Oh my gosh. The energy that he has, it's absolutely unreal.
Oh man. I saw his post-game interview. They asked him, what did he say to the Clippers when he was at the end of the game, when he was standing in front of their bench?
Oh no.
and he told him to take the ass home.
Yeah, that would be him. That would be him. That would be exactly how it would roll. But I give credit to the Timberwolves. The Clippers held a lead in the fourth quarter, going to the fourth quarter, but the Timberwolves had to shut them down. 20 points. Did they only allow the Clippers in the money quarter, as Brian and I say, while they scored 31 in that same quarter themselves. As I said earlier, they're now the West 7 seed. They now play the Grizzlies. Meanwhile, the Clippers, they're not eliminated, just like the Cavaliers. They will host whoever comes out of the Pelican Spurs game. And yeah, that will be at Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena. And the winner of that game will be the 8th seed. So I'm not surprised in what I saw last night, except for Cat not having his game. I was somewhat surprised in that regard. But how everything fell last night, I was not shocked at all.
No, we called it. We actually called the two games. We predicted these two games correctly.
Yeah.
We both said the Nets, and we both said Minnesota was going to win the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Good morning, Ryan. How you doing, sir?
Ryan, it's a pleasure again, as always, to meet your acquaintance this morning. Love you, bro. And Sick, man, I know I'm blessed, bro. I'm doing wonderful, man. I'm doing wonderful.
I get to do the show today, so I'm blessed today, Sick. I'm blessed every day, but I get to do the show today, so it's great. You start my day starting off great.
Oh, man, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so that is last night. What about tonight? So we have the 9-10 matchups. First on tap will be the Hawks hosting the Hornets. And then tipping off at 9:30 Eastern will be the Pelicans hosting the Spurs. Now, the way this works, whichever team wins will play the loser of yesterday's game in their conference. The loser of these games tonight will be eliminated from the playoffs altogether. So the winner of the Hornets Hawks game will travel to Cleveland to play the Cavs. The winner of the Pelicans Spurs game will travel to LA and play the Clippers. All right, so if you have to choose between the Hawks and the Hornets, who's going to advance and play the Cavaliers, which team would it be?
It's a hard choice, man, because the Hornets got a nice little squad.
Yeah.
But Atlanta
It's
does have Trae Young.
Atlanta
does have Trae Young, and he tends to show up in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and my Knicks know this for a fact that this dude comes and balls. So but you got to look. Personally, I think Atlanta has the more talented team.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted. The Hornets got some young, great pieces.
Atlanta
was here last year,
right? Yeah,
and
they made it to
the finals. They made it to the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody expected that from them.
No,
they expected more from them this year after last year's run,
right?
And doing the things that they did this offseason.
Yeah, it was slightly disappointing, but they rebounded, and I'm glad that I saw the fight that was still in them late in the season.
Yeah,
I'm with you, man. It's if you compare squads, I like what the Hornets offer as a squad more. But Trae Young, man, when the lights on bright, and not just that Knicks series, the series after that when they played the Sixers, it seemed as though, man, when the Hawks needed him the most, he was there, and he was there in bushels. And baseball, you can have one guy control it all, and normally it's the pitcher. Normally, when it comes to the playoffs. In football, it's a lot harder to do that. But I think in basketball and somewhat in hockey, I think those are the two sports where you can have one guy just be on and dominate and just control the flow and the pace of the game. And Trae Young is just that type of guy. And being this game's at home, and I think they know that they need it, and I think he knows they need it. I really feel for the Hornets. But you know what? I have to say this about them. I don't think we thought that we were going to see this type of team do this well. So if they bow out tonight, I do consider this to be a victory for the Hornets, because now I think they can use this season as a building block to better the next season and the seasons to come. Because I agree with you, they have a lot of talent on that squad.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to bet against Trae Young, so I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Yeah. And I'm with you, man. I don't want to go against him either. Yeah. So I think Atlanta's going to advance. And the Hornets are going to bow out.
But I won't be surprised if the Hornets win. But again,
I wouldn't either.
My pick is going to be Atlanta comes out of this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. So that is the 7 p.m. Eastern tip, the 9:30 p.m. tip, the Spurs and the Pelicans. I'm happy that the Spurs have made it this far. I would be surprised if they make it further. I don't see them having an answer for CJ McCollum. I'm trying to rack my brain around how they can circumvent this talent who can just simply control a game on its own on the offensive end. I can't do it, man. I can't. So I see the Pelicans all night with this one. What's the
oh man, it's gonna be a really. But CJ McCollum, oh man, that was a big pickup for them, man.
It was.
That was a big pickup for them, and to get him, that gave him that little push to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some pretty good victories this year. They beat some solid teams. Some of their victories came against some solid teams, man.
Yeah.
So
it did.
Oh man,
it did.
Ooh,
man,
it's a toss up for me. But
yeah.
I like the Pelicans. I like the Pelicans on that.
I do too. All right. So, Ryan, y'all got that Trae Young, man. You got that Trae Young, man. And 6 says, since you guys are so blessed and forever grateful to the Almighty every day, and I will say that all day, every day, it's a good time to play that Uncle Charlie Wilson track. Yeah. Wake up in the morning, I'm blessed. Yes. Very good time to play it. And Ryan, 6 says everything's good over in his way. People looking forward to Easter. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. All right. Well, that takes care of the NBA slot, except for one thing. The Nets were wonderful and they played their lights out last night, but I still feel a Paul in me. So if you can report this man to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, we'd be so glad. And I think the Nets would be so glad too, because he hasn't been seen in almost 10 months. So it would do our hearts good to have him come back to the Nets and to the NBA. Please, Ben, come back.
You might get what you want. You don't know.
Well, they say he's slated to be in the first round. So let's see how this goes.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if he's shows up.
Yeah, we'll see if he shows up. But in terms of Philly, I think I need to do a quick reset, not a commercial break, but just a quick reset, because I think I need to talk about someone else in Philly who I'm actually proud of. Yeah. And I'll give you a little tease as to what you're going to see a little later.
In case you bronsexuals don't know by now, LeBron has never been the face of the NBA, although people want to claim he's the face of the NBA, when there's a fellow in Oakland, California that kind of snatched the mantle from Kobe by hitting a 3 in his face. What impact has LeBron James had on the NBA? I'll answer that for you. Nothing.
Jabroni, Jabroni.
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning.
Rolling along on this Wednesday morning, we just wrapped up the first 2 of the 4 playing games that was on tap last night. We just covered the 2 that's going to be on tap tonight. And I talked about a former Philadelphian Now I'm going to mention a current Philadelphian, or at least by trade. Philadelphia's Phillies third baseman Alec Bohm. And if you're unfamiliar with him, so Monday night he had a horrible night. Now
Well,
his team had a good night because they
hold
won
on,
the
hold on,
game.
hold on.
Yes.
Yes, he had a horrible night on the field, right? He did,
Mhm.
he did.
Mhm.
But to his credit, later on in the game, because he made those errors in the first few innings, whatever, 3
Right.
errors at third base,
Mhm.
and it was a horrible night on the field for him.
Mhm.
Get it?
Mhm.
But he did come up with a key hit to help with that win.
Yeah. So so it wasn't all bad for him.
Yes.
The Phillies did rally Monday night to beat the Mets by 5-4, but the focus, unfortunately, was the fact that after his second E5, he uttered the phrase, quote,
Quote.
"I hate this effing place." Close quote. Now, when I first saw this and I realized where it was said, because this was in in Philadelphia, my first thought was,
Damn!
because I thought he was going to receive all sorts of venom and vigor from Philly. But to his credit, the hit that he had also in that game, in the post game, he apologized and he was honest and sincere with it. And I loved what he had to say. And he said, well, this is what he said in the post game. "I said it. Do I mean it? No. It's a frustrating night for me, obviously. Made a few mistakes in the field. Look, these people, these fans, they just want to win. You heard it. We come back. They're great. I'm just sorry to them. I don't mean that." And I'm with him on that.
Yeah, he compared it.
Sometimes we're just frustrated, and when
He
we in
compared
that
it.
moment.
He compared it to a situation with your siblings, where
Yeah.
siblings fight and
Hmm.
they fight, whatever, and then later on they're fine.
Yeah.
The city of brotherly love accepted his apology. They actually cheered him yesterday.
Right.
So
Right. And that made me happy when he wasn't in the game. He made a pinch hit
pinch hit,
appearance in
yes.
the bottom of the eighth, and they gave him a standing ovation. So I was happy to see that because it just goes to show that you can be an athlete. You can have those moments where you slip up. And if you're earnest about your slip up and you atone for it, fans are going to forgive you and they're going to say, you know what? That happens. Look, that's me. And when he said it, that's what I was thinking. Man, I was like, look, bro, I'm a divorcee. I will be the first to say I said that a lot when it came to my mother-in-law. So and definitely when it came to my deceased ex-father-in-law, I said that a lot. I was like, man, I do not like this place. So I understand that. Unlike Alec, I'm not going to apologize for it because that's exactly how I feel even now, many years later. But I don't have the venom to express and just roll with it. But and I'm in a much better situation. I mean, my wife is wonderful and my mother-in-law is gorgeous. So we all have those moments where we just simply slip at the tongue. And I'm glad that he decided to say, you know what, I own this. And I made a mistake. Okay. All right. I can understand that. And I'm with him on that. So I'm happy for him. Ryan says teams usually write a hot goaltender during the Stanley Cup playoffs. Right. It couldn't come to my brain because I kept thinking. I mean, Patrick Roy in one of the I think the final Canadiens championship year. I think that was '93. That's a prime example. And Grant Fuhrer and a couple of those Oilers teams in the '80s. That's a great example, Ryan. Six says, here's a hypothetical question regarding Mr. Simmons. If he's actually dealing with mental health issues, could he be be an in and outpatient facility or possibly somewhere reclusive to get better? It's possible. It's possible. Do I think he is doing it though? No, I really believe he just felt as though he had his punk card called. He felt as though he just shrunk in the moment. He was embarrassed and he just did not want to see himself in Philly anymore. And he made a bad situation worse. And now that he is 106 miles northeast, you know, he's still trying to save face all this time. And I mean, that's what I believe. And you see, Mr. Simmons, unlike Mr. Bohm, you made the wrong path. So go back home. The Brooklyn Nets need you. They're about to travel north to play Boston. They need you. They need all hands on deck, sir. You don't need to be missing. That back needs to be healthy. That mind needs to be sharp. Just remember, a team needs you. Don't disappear. 10 months have passed. It's all under the bridge. Come back home. That's all we're asking. That's all.
Oh, man.
Six said, I did say it was a hypothetical question. Yeah, you did.
You did.
You did. You did. Well, let's do a reset. And when we come back, I'm going to debut a news segment. And I think you're going to like it. Be right back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
You're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go, babe. I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, Dr. K, it is official SIT Morn. That's official SIT Morn. That's how you can find us on Twitter and on that Instagram thing. And shout out to you, Dr. K, for taking care of my man, Brian Snow, who is convalescing from cancer surgery. He has kicked that doggone thing, and he's on his way home to recover. So everything is good on that front. Now, he's not able to join me at the moment, but my man, Wise El Jefe, has. And I'm so happy that he's here, gracing me for yet another day and another great show.
I appreciate it, man. I love being here.
Oh, well, we love having you here. So, in fact, actually, I was talking with Brian about this particular segment that we're about to enter now, and it just triggered a lot of things in me. Okay. And so we talked about Cam Newton.
It wouldn't happen to be. It wouldn't happen to be about his recent interview, would it?
And it would happen to be about his recent interview.
On $1 million worth of game. Yes.
Yes. It would have to be about his most recent interview, and because of that most recent interview, and I think things that have been on my mind, I feel compelled to debut a new segment on Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. So, Mr. Cam Newton, you, sir, are currently on the hot seat.
I like that.
Thank you, sir. Now, I'm not hipping Wise to this because he, I think, knows this. But for those who are on the uninitiated side, Mr. Newton appeared on Barstool Sports, and he had a peculiar take on women.
Well, it wasn't Barstool.
It wasn't Barstool. I'm sorry.
No,
my bad.
It was $1 million worth of game. I know this because I watched it. So, yes, I watched this. That's a podcast I do watch.
Okay.
But yes, good. Continue. I'm sorry. Continue. I just want to make sure.
Thank you. No. Thank you. He was on the $1 million worth of game podcast. Thank you, sir. And shout out to you guys. Wonderful job with this as well. Wonderful job in that interview with Cam Newton. He had this particular thing to say about women. I would do the quote, but I think I will let him do the justice a whole lot better than I could.
I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. Mm-hmm. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches, and I say bitches in a way not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Mm-hmm. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
That was $1 million worth of game podcast. And Cam, and I wish I had the other clip to show you. This isn't the first time he's had some, how can I put this, questionable takes when it comes to women. He was interviewed, I think it was like a Wednesday press conference.
Oh, you talk about Rodriguez and the reporter Rodriguez, Leone Rodriguez, something like. Anyway, right? Yes, when he questioned has she ever ran a route or women?
No. He was surprised that it was a woman
that
knowing
asked that question. Yes,
to ask a question about route running. You're right.
Yes,
and so for a person who claims that he has been under the umbrella of two women when he grew up, he seems to have these strange takes on them. But I might be alone in this realm. Sir, I will let you opine. What did you think about this when you first saw it, and now when you have just now recently laid eyes on this?
Where do I start? Let's see. Okay, so let me put it out there. I'm the cook in my house. My wife does know how to cook. She does know how to cook,
right?
And she is a boss chick.
Yeah.
My wife is the one who helped me start my business. She's very business oriented. So she is a boss chick, and she does know how to cook. But I enjoy cooking more than she does. But that's me. I enjoy cooking. She doesn't like cooking. She can. She's a really good cook, but she doesn't do it. She doesn't. I cook the most in the house, and I don't have a problem with that because I enjoy it. So I don't know. He was raised in a household where, but you got to say he comes from a generation in the South where, especially if you come from a home where you have your father and mother, the father's usually the one who goes home, the mother's home cooking, preparing the house. That's the traditional way. That was the traditional way.
Right.
He's still stuck on that.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Cam grew up in Atlanta, so that just goes to show right there. I said this at my workplace. I say, look, I have cooked more in the kitchen in a week than my wife has in a year. Now, can she cook? Yes. Has she cooked for me? Definitely. Are the meals she prepares good? Most certainly. But she'll be the first to tell you, I don't want to be in the kitchen all that much. And I work from home, so I have the luxury of having more time at home and cooking. Does that make Wise or me less of a man? Heck no. It just means we enjoy doing something more than our mates do. And look, my wife is an entrepreneur, a boss chick. I will never call her out of her name ever, because I do not believe she is a bad.
No, my wife. If you hear my podcast, I always say the boss lady, and that's my wife.
Yes.
And I don't say she's a bad, because she's not. She is a boss chick.
Yes, my wife is a boss lady too. 100%. 100%. I mean, she runs her own business, and she has a lot on her plate. So my role is to make sure that she doesn't have as much on her plate. And on top of it, she's actually finding the time to help me do the same thing as Wife's wife is doing with him and get my businesses popped off. So I don't complain about it at all. But for the fact that he has antiquated views on womanhood in terms of how men should be with him. I mean, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head to say to him in return would be,
Have a Coke and a smile and shut up.
That's the only thing I can think of just off the top of the head. Because the first time I heard this, when I actually looked at this film, I literally went back and was Teddy Pendergrass saying,
"You for real?"
I'm really just was that way, man. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Really? No, dude. No. Now, Six says you can't blame the man for his views. And I don't.
Yeah, listen, I don't like anybody's views. That's their belief. That's
right.
them. Who am I to tell them how to live their life?
Right.
If that's how he wants to live his life with that belief, more power to him. That's just not how I think.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, his view is bad. That's his view.
No. His views aren't bad. No. His views are antiquated though, but his views aren't bad.
No, so it's just that, again, we're in now I guess you and my nephew have pointed out to me that now I am a media guy and so and an analyst now, and so I have an opinion, and that's what I'm here to do, is share my opinion.
Right.
And so we were raised in that same generation. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She cooked. She maintained the household. That's how I grew up. I was raised by women.
Right.
My brothers were out doing whatever they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I went with my own beliefs.
Right.
I didn't have to stick with that theory that a woman has to stay home and cook. Because nowadays, day and age, you need both people to work in the household.
Right. Most certainly.
So since I get home early, like I'm home by 12 p.m. in the afternoon, my wife doesn't get home till later, like 5, 6 o'clock. So for me to expect her to come home and cook at
Ridiculous.
5, 6 o'clock,
right,
it's not gonna happen because she's
Right.
tired, and it's not, and I wouldn't be a good partner if I didn't do it.
Exactly.
That's me. I wouldn't be a good partner if I didn't do it, if I didn't cook and make sure when she got home, she had something good to eat.
Right. Yeah, definitely. 6 says, Cole, cooking is a joy, especially when you got your fave playlist on. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've rocked to a whole bunch of stuff while I was in the kitchen slaving. I couldn't tell you, bro. I couldn't tell you. He also said there's nothing wrong with a man cooking, especially since a man should learn how to take care of himself. Being a divorcee, that's what I had to learn to do. So I had a few years between my first and second wife, and I was not depending on a woman. I had to make sure food was on the table, and I had to cook it myself. So yeah, I totally understand that, man. It's just my thought with him and with Cam is it's cool that's his view, but I'm a little taken aback by him wanting to deal with bad because I'm like, you had the example of what you would like, and they were and are women. In my opinion, in my estimation, they are full-fledged women. So they wouldn't be in that realm. So why would you even entertain that? That's where I am with that. Why would you even entertain it if you know that's not for you? Look, I learned when I was in my 20s, and I'll say it this way, quote, you can't turn no hoe into a housewife. Close quote. So in knowing that, I didn't want to associate with hoes. So I didn't associate with hoes. I associated with women, with intelligent, sensitive, warm-hearted, complex women. And if they want to be whatever they want to be, and they want to be thirst trapping and all that, what power to them? I don't want to deal with that. But I was led to assume in having Cam say what he said, I'm like, man, you're entertaining that. And that's where I am with that. It's like, man, you should entertain that. And you have the example of 2 women where they did entertain that, so you already know. Now, as far as my wife knowing when to shut up, why would I want that? Well, why would I want to have a come here woman type of thing and be serious? Nah. No, I mean, if she has an opinion, I want her to say it. She has the room. The fact that I have to impose leadership as a man, that's not what it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to lead with love, just like what Wise said. If I'm a man, I lead with love. I don't lead with the Johnson, and I don't mean my last name. I don't lead with that. I lead with love. So if I'm leading with love, guess what a woman is going to do? Wow, so you can treat me like this? She's going to bowl herself over to want to be with you. And so I don't have to be tyrannical. I don't have to put a dictatorial hat on and say, you do as I say. No, I'm going to love that out of you to where you have the freedom to do what you want to do, but you will give me the freedom to be the man that I am, the man that God created me to be. So why would you want to entertain bad itches? Doesn't make sense.
So
all right, go ahead, bro.
No, you're absolutely right, man. And my wife wish I would tell her.
Mine too.
My wife wish I would tell her to shut up, because then I wouldn't be waking up anymore. I'll be waking up probably like 6 hours later in the ER or something.
Right, exactly.
But
yeah,
it'll
be shut.
Yeah,
Lights will be dimmed quick.
But nah, man, listen. It's today now. It's when you get married, you're no longer an individual. You are an individual. Yes, you are. But now things, you have to agree on things. You have to communicate. You have to come to some kind of agreement so that this relationship can work. And yes, we both have our flaws. We've accepted our flaws. We haven't tried to change each other. Right. It's our choices, our choice to change something that we know is irritating to them. And it's something that, yes, is probably annoying that maybe we should get rid of. But everyone has their faults. We're not perfect. And when you're able, and you know what it is? It's in a lot of times in relationships is where you put expectations on that person and not tell them what those expectations are, and then expect them to live up to it.
Right. And that's a danger in that. Yeah.
It is.
There's a danger in doing that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Cam, good morning, BS3.
Good morning, bro.
But yeah, listen, it's his views, like Sig says.
Yeah.
I don't agree with him.
I don't either. But that's him.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make him a bad person. It's just
it's easy and like I said, antiquated views, and that's it. That's
how I feel. Six said, I was raised in a 2-parent household, and my parents made sure that my siblings and I learned to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, they would have failed as parents. And both of my parents said the same to me. Sick. The exact same phrase, actually. Ryan said, both my parents worked during the day, so my 3 siblings and I had to learn to do certain things, such as cook, do laundry, etc. And that was my existence, although I did not have siblings. But that's exactly what I had to do, especially when I was in high school, because my parents both came in the house at night. So when I got home from school about 4 to 7, the house was mine. So I had to find dinner and find a way to cook dinner and find a way to clean my clothes. So I couldn't rely on them to do it. And I'm glad I didn't have to. Sick also said relationships are like ballroom dancing or pair figure skating. The yin and yang has to be established. And thank you, Sick, for saying yin and not yin. I appreciate you for that. But yes, you're correct, sir. You're correct. And Cam, I think that's enough time for you being on the hot seat. I think you can rise up now. But before I go,
in a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the BRONSEXUAL Confessions.
I am sick and tired of you bronsexuals poisoning the Lakers nation well and having these takes that supposedly are coming from Lakers fan saying, quote, the playoffs are going to suck because my Lakers aren't in it anymore. Close quote. No.
It's going to suck for you.
Yes, it will suck for you. It ain't sucking for me. Because all I got to say to you, bronsexuals, is the following.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
And these fools just simply talking that.
You cannot say filth, flying filth in front of people.
It's started to become that way to the point where you have people who were on on social media and they're saying, look, it's now finally over. We're not going to be talking about LeBron. Thank the Lord. And I'm like, dude, we're going to be in preseason of the NFL, August. And we're going to be seeing LeBron is better than Jordan takes. Guaranteed, as the sun rises and sets in the morning, you will see that take in August. I'm like, this is why I created Bronsexual Confessions, because you got those types of takes that come every single day, and you have material every single day because of them. And then then a little piece of news that makes me happy about Bronsexuals. So on the latest episode of The Shop, the show that LeBron with many guests, LeBron, Maverick Carter, and many of their guests, whoever they invite, come onto a barbershop setting, and that is on his network, Uninterrupted.
Well, it's on HBO, I think,
and it's also on HBO. Yes. He was asked by Maverick who he would want to play with, and of course, the first answer was his son Bronny. He said currently, and then Maverick said, okay, after him and currently NBA, who would you want? And of course, he said that it was Steph. What made me happy was when Steph heard this, he smiled and he said, well, he gets his chance. He plays with me in the All-Star game. He selected me a couple times, but you know what? I'm good. Not good. All right, LeBron. I know, and in Bronsexuals, I know that you need to have something shrunk down to base level that you can understand an intelligent person giving an intellectual and curt and polite response to a question. So when Curry was asked, so would you want to play with LeBron? His answer basically to you, translated in your language, would be,
bitch, please.
I'm just about, yeah.
Six said, that's it. The Lakers need to head back to Minneapolis and cleanse and purify themselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Oh my gosh. All right. I just had to get that quick takeoff because I know it was Wednesday and I could not leave unless I actually put forth that. So thoughts, sir?
Well, okay, so I guess Rick Bucher was on Marcellus and the Choice Show, whatever the hell it's called, and he talked, and because Marcellus said something about LeBron that he made it sound like he was some kind of savior or whatever, but Rick Bucher pointed out that he tried to say LeBron is a great teammate and whatever, and then Rick Bucher pointed out, yeah, he's a great teammate when you're benefiting him.
Mm-hmm.
But when you no longer, he's like, yo, LeBron he goes, he when he left Cleveland the first time, he abandoned his teammates there, went to Miami. Then he went to Miami for a few years, did what he did, came through, tore it up, left. When he left, it was a little bit of disarray. Go back to Cleveland, builds it back up, abandons them after getting a chip, and they get beat. Once he leaves, they become in disarray. He comes to LA, and LA was already bad. They were when he joined the team, they were like 35 and something. So yeah, the next year they had a win. They had a good what they won the championship, was it? Or whatever it was, and then last year they lost in the playing game, whatever they made the playing whatever.
Yeah,
and then this year they were actually worse than the year prior to LeBron arriving. And Rick Bucher's like, this is what LeBron does. He depletes a team and then just drains him. He gets him. When he gets you to the high of the high, yes. But
yeah,
once it's over, it's like he leaves it in disarray.
Oh, it's scorched earth. That is the best way I could put it. It is scorched earth with him. I mean, he has proved it with 2 different teams, 3 different times. It is scorched earth, and he's going to do it again. This time it's going to be with the Lakers. Ryan says, did Steph offer LeBron some pancakes after that quote? 6 says, it's going to be raining purple when the Lakers come back to Minneapolis. He also said, Ryan McCarthy, that's crazy. He also said to you, Ryan, I'll have chocolate chips on mine.
Ooh, some chocolate chips sound good.
Yeah, it does. Well, unfortunately, I have to end this now. That was great.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty.
100 millions follow.
Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of the BRONSEXUAL Confessions.
Now, if you want to support the show, all you have to do is go on to patreon.com/SIT morning, I should say, and you will get behind the scenes footage of everything that this show provides. Now, unfortunately, I have work duties to attend to. So unfortunately, I have to go. Sir, how can people reach you?
Always, you can find me on all major platforms. Stuck in My Mind podcast. You can check out the radio station at www.realwiseradio.com. Download the app. We're on Android and Apple. And check out the YouTube channel, Real Wise Podcast.
All right. And
I'm sorry, Stuck in My Mind podcast. Real Wise is the TV.
All right. And if you want to see me outside of this platform, you can check me out on Cole Sports with a Z on YouTube. That's Cole Sports with a Z. And you'll catch me there. Now, unfortunately, I have to go. So I want you to take care. God bless. And make your next one your best one. Always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. That's Wise's case. That's my case. That's Brian's case. I hope it's yours too. And on Thursday, well, we might have some more morsels to have you sample. Until then, for Brian and Wise, this is Cole. Adios. And we'll see you tomorrow on Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.